Have you ever wondered how that delicious cheese on your pizza or in your favorite sandwich is made? What's the secret behind that smooth, melt-in-your-mouth texture? Well, the journey from milk to that perfect, gooey slice involves a blend of tradition and science. Did you know that eating cheese actually releases some hormones that affect brain chemistry? When we eat cheese, it releases casomorphins, peptides that have a mild opioid effect on the brain. Yeah, now you probably know why you're so addicted to that ooey gooey goodness. But why do some cheeses have holes while others don't? What if the secret to your favorite cheese lies in a tiny culture of bacteria? Well, before we dive into it, be sure to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss out on more intriguing factory secrets. Let's start our cheese-making adventure with milk, the star of the show. Whether you choose cow, goat, or sheep milk, the quality is key. It will shape the flavor and texture of your cheese in amazing ways. But have you ever wondered how the type of milk can transform a simple cheese into something extraordinary? The choice between cow, goat, or sheep milk isn't just a matter of preference. It can dramatically affect flavor, texture, and even the health benefits of your cheese. Step 1. Preparing the milk. Let's kick things off by choosing the right milk for your cheese-making journey. Cow's milk is a popular choice for many cheeses because it's versatile. It works well for everything from cheddar to mozzarella and is rich in fat and protein, giving cheese a nice creamy texture. If you want a tangy flavor, goat's milk is a great option, often used for softer cheeses like chèvre. Its smaller fat globules make it super creamy and easier for some people to digest. Sheep's milk, on the other hand, is fattier and has more protein, making it perfect for cheeses like feta and pecorino, which often have a tasty, nutty flavor that many people love. Now, if you're using raw milk, here's a quick tip. Pasteurize it first by heating it to 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 74 degrees Celsius for about 15 seconds. Then cool it down fast. This step is super important because it gets rid of any harmful bacteria while keeping all those delicious natural flavors intact. Step 2. Acidification. Next up, let's add a starter culture to your milk. But what is a starter? Well, starter refers to a culture of bacteria that is added to milk to initiate the fermentation process. This is where the fun really begins. The starter culture kicks the acidification process by fermenting the lactose into lactic acid, which helps develop that delicious flavor and creamy texture we all love. After you mix it in, let the milk sit at a warm temperature for about 30 minutes to an hour. This gives the culture time to work its magic. Can you smell the cheese potential already? Step 3. Coagulation. Once your milk is nice and acidified, it's time to add rennet, which is a natural enzyme that helps curdle the milk. Just sprinkle it in and stir gently. No need to go overboard. Isn't it amazing how a tiny ingredient can completely transform milk? With just a few drops of rennet, milk suddenly separates into curds and whey. How does something so small create such a dramatic change? This is the power of food chemistry at work. After that, let it sit undisturbed for about 30 to 60 minutes. During this time, the milk will transform into a firm, gel-like consistency, which is what we're aiming for. It's pretty amazing to watch this process happen. Ready to move on? If you got this far into cheese making and are fascinated by how technology improves efficiency in the process, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Step 4. Cutting the curd. Now it's time to cut the curds. Grab a long knife or a curd cutter and slice those curds into small pieces. This step is important because it allows the whey or liquid to escape. Plus, how you cut the curds influences the final texture of your cheese. The smaller the pieces, the firmer your cheese will be. So go ahead, make those cuts. Your cheese is one step closer to deliciousness. Step 5. Cooking the curd. Warm the curds slowly, stirring gently as they firm up, transforming their texture step by step. Once the curds are cut, this careful heating helps release even more whey, bringing them closer to the perfect consistency. For firmer, harder cheeses, the temperature climbs higher, while softer cheeses call for a gentler warmth. This stage is all about finding that ideal balance of moisture and texture, setting the stage for the final magic of cheese making. Step 6. Draining the whey. After the milk has been coagulated and turned into curds, the next step is to separate those curds from the whey. This usually involves gently scooping the curds into a cheesecloth or a colander and allowing the liquid whey to drain away. During this process, the curds are often gently pressed to help expel whey and to encourage them to stick together. The texture and moisture content of the curds at this stage will affect the final cheese, so it's important to monitor it carefully. Once the desired consistency is reached, the curds can be seasoned or shaped, depending on the type of cheese being made. Step 7. Cheddaring the cheese. Once the cheese is drained, it's time for the cheddaring magic to begin. The curds are carefully cut into blocks, stacked, and turned, a process that does more than just shape the cheese, which in turn, whey is pressed out, and the curds start to develop a firmer texture and richer flavor. This patient stacking and flipping is what gives cheddar its unique bite and depth. Step 7. Salting. Salting is a super important step in cheese making. After you've drained the curds, you add salt to them, either directly or by using a brine solution. This isn't just about taste, though it definitely enhances the flavor. Salt also helps preserve the cheese by keeping unwanted bacteria at bay, which is crucial for longer shelf life. Plus, it can affect the texture. By drawing out moisture, it helps firm up the curds, making the cheese the right consistency. For some cheeses, salting the outside creates a protective cover that boosts flavor as it ages. It's a process that affects both taste and texture. Step 8. Molding and pressing. Now it's time to transfer those curds into a cheese mold. Gently pack them in, applying just enough pressure to shape them without overdoing it. If you're making a harder cheese, you'll want to press a bit more firmly to help expel any extra whey. This step is also about getting that perfect shape while ensuring your cheese has the right texture. Can you feel the excitement building? Your cheese is really starting to take form. Have you ever wondered why Swiss cheese has those iconic holes? Believe it or not, those tiny gaps are more than just an unusual feature. They're created by bacteria releasing gas as the cheese matures, leaving behind air pockets that give Swiss cheese its unique look and taste. Each hole tells a story of the cheese's journey from milk to that slice on your plate. So, next time you take a bite, remember, there's a hidden science behind every tasty gap. Who knew Swiss cheese held so many secrets? Step 9. Aging. What makes one cheese smooth and mild while another is sharp and crumbly? The answer lies in the magic of aging. From just a few weeks to several years, the aging process and even the environment where cheese is stored unlocks entirely different flavors and textures. Plus, some factories experiment with specific aging techniques like using wooden shelves or different molds, which can introduce unique characteristics. Each batch becomes a mini experiment, encouraging cheesemakers to learn and adapt, continually feeding your curiosity about the art and science behind cheese. One interesting fact about cheese is that the world's oldest known cheese was discovered in an ancient Egyptian tomb dating back over 3,200 years. It was found in a container that suggested it was made from cow's milk and may have been preserved with salt or herbs, highlighting the long-standing tradition of cheese making in human history. Now, it's time to let your cheese age in a controlled environment. This process can take anywhere from a few days to several months, and it's during this time that flavors really develop and the texture starts to change. It's like giving your cheese a little vacation to mature. Just keep an eye on the temperature and humidity to ensure everything stays on track for optimal results. Each day in the aging room brings new surprises, and before you know it, you'll have a delicious cheese ready to enjoy. Step 10. Taste. Once your cheese has aged to perfection, it's time to taste your creation. You can enjoy your factory-made cheese on its own or incorporate it into a delicious dish. There's something special about savoring a cheese crafted with care and expertise. Each cheese-making adventure in the factory not only brings new flavors, but also deepens your understanding and appreciation of this incredible culinary art. So go ahead, slice it up, and dive into the flavors. You're in for a treat. And you want to learn something else pretty cool before you leave? A fun fact about cheese taste is that it can be influenced by the diet of the animals producing the milk. For example, cows that graze on grass produce milk that can lead to cheeses with more complex and varied flavors, while those fed a grain diet may produce milder tasting milk. This is why cheeses from different regions can taste so unique. Thanks for joining us on this cheese-making journey. We hope you enjoyed exploring the art and science behind crafting delicious cheese. What are some cheese dishes you just can't resist? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more tasty content.